Open E's bluesier, open G's a little brighter, a little countryer. But then eventually I started playing in standard tuning again because I realized that it gave me more of my own voice to play in standard tuning. Most people prefer open tunings for obvious reasons. The harmonics are better. All the licks that we are used to hearing are right at your fingertips, and it's very convenient.
Warren Haynes, the mercurial force behind Government Mule and a linchpin of the Allman Brothers Band's later years, is often hailed as one of the most versatile guitarists of his generation. Yet Haynes himself is quick to deflect such a claim, preferring to cite the legends whose sounds, styles, and spirits have shaped his musical journey. For Warren Haynes, Duane Allman stands as the ultimate benchmark. As one of the founding members of the Allman Brothers Band, Allman's lyrical slide guitar and deep musicality redefined what rock could be. Haynes, who joined the Allman Brothers Band 2 decades after Allman's death, has spoken often of the enormous respect he holds for Duane's playing. Every note Duane played sounded like it meant something deeply personal. Haynes once said in an interview with Guitar World, "There was no filler, no wasted motion, it was all heart."
Duane Allman played it differently every night, but when we were all growing up listening to the Fillmore East album, the introduction to Statesboro Blues was embedded in all of our heads, and we all learned it note for note, or at least to the best of our ability. And so that's definitely something that changed my life, and of course, I never would have imagined that I would wind up being in the Allman Brothers for 25 years.
Haynes credits Allman with teaching him the value of melodic phrasing, especially in extended improvisations. While many guitarists of the late 1960s pursued speed and technical bravado, Allman focused on making every note resonate with purpose. This ethos became central to Haynes's own style, where storytelling through melody takes precedence over sheer pyrotechnics. However, revering such a monumental figure came with its own challenges. When Haynes joined the reformed Allman Brothers Band in 1989, he had to walk a tightrope between honoring Allman's legacy and establishing his own identity within the group. The pressure to live up to the memory of Duane Allman risked suffocating Haynes's personal expression. The weight of expectation could have easily overwhelmed a lesser musician, but Haynes found guidance in another towering figure, Albert King. The Mississippi-born bluesman, known for his unconventional upside-down guitar playing and monumental string bends, taught Haynes that feel mattered more than flawless technique. Albert King might be the biggest influence on rock guitar ever, Haynes told Ear of Newt in 2019. His phrasing was like a conversation, so vocal, so human. Listening to King, Haynes absorbed lessons in space, tension, and release. Where some guitarists filled every bar with flurries of notes, King was unafraid to leave room for the listener's imagination. It was a style predicated on patience and timing, and Haynes internalized these principles deeply. In homage, Haynes even dedicated his first solo album, Tales of Ordinary Madness, to King's memory, a quiet yet profound tribute to the man who taught him that understatement could be more powerful than excess. Yet King's influence also posed a dilemma. In a rock world increasingly driven by speed and spectacle, could a guitarist who prized nuance over flash still capture widespread attention? The answer came through the unbounded spirit of Jimi Hendrix. For Haynes, Hendrix was more than just a virtuoso. He was an artist who showed that the guitar could be a portal to an entire universe of sounds and emotions. Hendrix made you realize you could take it anywhere you wanted if you meant it, Haynes once reflected in a conversation with Relix magazine. Hendrix's fearless manipulation of feedback, his kaleidoscopic chord voicings, and his ability to wring previously unimagined textures from his Stratocaster expanded Haynes's sense of what was musically possible. While Haynes's own style remained rooted in blues, the idea that guitar playing could be a form of freewheeling, emotional self-expression took deep root. It emboldened Haynes to experiment, with tones, with phrasing, and with dynamics, in ways that might otherwise have felt sacrilegious within the blues rock tradition. However, Hendrix's example also introduced a new peril, the temptation to overindulge in sonic experimentation for its own sake, risking a loss of musical coherence. To navigate this tension between expression and discipline, Haynes turned to the Cream-era recordings of Eric Clapton.
Guitar heroes, I guess my first guitar hero, it was Eric Clapton, Jimi Hendrix, and Johnny Winter, in that order. So to eventually become friends with him and be able to play music with him is obviously a huge thing for me. Being part of Crossroads was a great experience, and when he sat in with the Allman Brothers for our 40th anniversary, that was one of the highlights of my life.
For Haynes, it was Clapton's mid-1960s work, ferocious, exploratory, yet deeply grounded in blues, that provided the perfect model. Cream-era Clapton had a rawness and a power that hit you in the gut, Haynes told Guitar Player magazine. That's the version of Clapton that made me want to plug in. Cream's blend of blues standards, extended improvisations, and heavy riffing offered Haynes a blueprint for balancing tradition with innovation. Clapton's solos were adventurous, but always anchored by an underlying melodic logic that kept them emotionally compelling. This balance became a central tenet of Haynes's own approach. Whether stretching out in a 20-minute jam with Government Mule or delivering a taut solo in a cover of a Muddy Waters tune, Haynes strove to ensure that no matter how far he pushed the music, it remained tethered to its emotional core. Yet Clapton's example also laid bare another conflict. Could Haynes maintain this delicate balance while forging a voice distinct enough to stand out in an increasingly crowded field of blues rock guitarists? It was in Johnny Winter that Haynes found an answer and a catalyst.
She carried me down on Grandpa Street, seeing everybody I wanted to meet.
Winter's incendiary blend of blues fury and rock aggression showed Haynes that energy and authenticity could coexist without compromise. Johnny Winter was pure excitement every time he touched a guitar, Haynes recalled during an interview at the Savannah Music Festival. He taught me how to attack the guitar and still stay soulful. Winter's torrid slide runs, muscular rhythms, and fearless stage presence offered Haynes a model of how to harness raw power without losing emotional depth. It was not about speed for its own sake, but about channeling feeling into every phrase. This lesson proved crucial as Haynes stepped into the demanding world of arena rock with the Allman Brothers and, later, into the rough-and-tumble improvisational landscape of Government Mule. He learned to marry subtlety with intensity, to dazzle without alienating. Still, even with these lessons, Haynes faced a final challenge: how to continue evolving without losing the essence of what made his playing distinctive. Rather than choosing one path over another, Warren Haynes synthesized these influences into a style uniquely his own. From Duane Allman, he took the lyrical phrasing; from Albert King, the masterful use of space; from Jimi Hendrix, the audacity of sound; from Eric Clapton, the delicate balance between tradition and exploration; and from Johnny Winter, the combustible energy. In interviews, Haynes has often emphasized that the true goal is not to mimic, but to internalize and reinterpret. You listen, you learn, but ultimately, you have to find your own voice, he said. And so he did. Whether gliding through the soaring melodies of Soulshine, thundering through a 10-minute blues jam with Government Mule, or lending aching slide lines to an Allman Brothers set, Warren Haynes continues to embody the best lessons of his heroes, not as a carbon copy, but as a living testament to the transformative power of influence, reinvention, and self-belief. In an age where the temptation to chase trends can lead even great players astray, Haynes' journey offers a compelling reminder. The truest path to greatness is not to escape your influences, but to honor them, and in doing so, to transcend them.